morning and welcome to Apex Esports League. I'm JT and tonight we're live for the Pagnian Advanced Simulation Supercars Championship. And it is round 7 tonight, so it sees us at Red Bull Ring GP. In the session at Red Bull Ring, we've got 10 minutes of practice, 10 minutes of qualifying, a 40-minute race. Weather is generated and time of day is noon, and the cars are capped at 47% fuel, meaning they will need to take one stop to be able to finish out the race. Our series championship leader is Tim Mulford after the 6th round, currently leading on 1,410 points, with Anthony Visma in P2 on 1,162 and then Mick Clifton on 1,045. In our previous results for round 6 were at Silverstone Circuit. We had Harry Dodds take the race win, also set the fastest lap of the race, and it was Tim Mulford, our series leader, that ended up taking pole position. We'll jump over and check out the track in Austria for Red Bull Ring GP. Track length is 4.3 kilometers and there's 10 turns, and then there is a fair bit of humidity once again in the session, so it's going to be affecting some performance of the cars, but it is only cloudy, so that may start to clear up a bit. We'll jump over and see how they're faring for the practice session so far. We do have Ryan with us again. Thanks for joining us yet again, Ryan.
Thanks again for having me. It's always great to come here on a Monday night. Any Monday that you can come home, crack a bevy and enjoy some motorsport's a good night.
That's great to hear. We're seeing some times landing at the moment. Got about 20 drivers loading in at the moment. So it should be a good race around Red Bull Ring. We're already seeing some pretty quick times in the low 131s. You could expect to see some very quick 130s in the qualifying session. Scholes, that's got the fastest in practice.
About to say, not a whole lot of people have set a time just yet, but most of them are probably on their first flying lap as well, coming out of the pits, because there is only a 10-minute practice session, which I always forget about. I'm used to jumping in for a half-hour practice session for a race. 131.000. You can't get much closer to 130.
Flat out, yeah.
The Peter Vanderkramp. Matthew Scholes not far in behind, but it's only practice.
Yeah, it's a very, very close gap already, so it's going to be showing we're in for a good sight on lap times tonight, I think.
Also, good news. I've acquired an laptop, so I can have the data going and get live timing and events on my screen as well, without just looking for crashes when my replay sets it on it.
That'll be handy. As you join us for the stream too, jump in the chat, say hello. Don't forget to hit the follow button if you haven't done so as well. Yeah, there's a couple of incident showing. So a few more loading in at the moment as well.
And as we come into the final minute, there's a few times on the board, and the gap's definitely a lot closer than what it was last week in Silverstone. Smaller track too, so that might come into it as well, but at least it'll make it a little bit more exciting with a few more, well, a few better battles, I should say, going right throughout the field.
Yeah, I think so.
so far it's the top 4 are all in the 131s bracket. And that's Peter Van der Kraan, Matthew Scholes, Aidan Cale and Mick Clifton all spin in the background that I see there until my screen cuts away from it. Typical.
Looks like we had a couple of names I haven't seen for a while. Ben Rose jumped back on track, and we got Scott Rankin as well. It's good to see him back on track. And Harry Dodds impromptu joined the race last week to go on and take the win. Practice session concluding now. Alford flies out on track. The first one out. He's got a pretty decent lead on the series now. They have nearly a few hundred points. Leading the way, coming into round 7.
Oh, a bit of congestion coming out of pit lane. The two Pagnian cars nearly smashed into each other. That of 17 and 91. That's
Steph
and Phil Buckland. They just be taking it super easy on their outlap. That's another thing that annoys me about these cars is there's no cold tyre effect with them. You've just got to nurse it the entire way around until you get to the start of your flying lap, and then you just done it. There is no cold tyre effect.
You can easily catch out, especially at the race starts as well. Aidan Cale, looks like he's debuting with us tonight. Welcome aboard, Aidan. All the best in the race tonight. Drivers now on their first timed lap. Rushworth commencing his now. It should be the first timed lap. I wonder if he's been out there for a full lap, if you want to call the hot lap, since he's about to come into the final corner.
Yep, I certainly can. But you got to be super careful on the exit of the final corner for track limits. You can be on the green part, but as soon as you go onto the green grass, you get a track limit peak. Right between, well, just close to the 100 board there. No, he's done.
That's unlucky.
Thanks, Tim.
Thought that would probably happen.
Really left me.
We'll jump on with Mick Clifton. How's that? Coming into turn 1.
I've got to find his name in a second. Dang it. Can't find his name. There he is. Where are we? Coming in turn 2. Break just after the 150 board. I'm surprised he's not taking more of the outside track there, but you turn it in, you've got to try and get it pointed straight as fast as you can so you can nail the throttle. It's super hard to get on the throttle through there while the wheels turn. So it looks like he's just tucking in behind the car in front to get the draft. Brakes at the 150 board. Again, not as wide as I thought he'd be, but he goes down a second there just to give it a bit of rotation. On the throttle, up to third, fourth. He'll get up to fifth by the end here, and then halfway in between to the 50 and the 100 board, he'll brake, take down a third. Again, for some engine braking for rotation. Sort of normally see some short shifting there, but I'm not seeming to. But just at the end of the green curve there, you brake, brush the brakes to try and just get the weight on the nose, turn it in and make this corner as quick as you can. Looks like you might be going for a dive here, so that won't be super good for him. He's back down.
Yeah, it's gonna risk a potential invalid lap. Yeah, it's obviously put him off a little bit there.
Wouldn't have been very good for his time either.
So we did get a full lap in. Thanks for the follow as well.
We've got a couple 130s on the board. So we've got Visma with a 130.54 and then Tim Mulford with a 130.61.
Yeah, it's not
before
a whole lot
rudely
between
going
them.
back to the pits.
Yeah.
I was on a roll there too. I practiced and everything.
Visma's got that pole. Clifton's in third spot currently. He'll be going out for another time the lap soon.
I'm looking at the incident counter and your live timing here. There's a lot of off tracks going on, so I think that'll be a talking point for this race. Not quite as much as Silverstone, I'll say. Silverstone's a dog of a track to track. It's definitely
the easiest point.
Hard to tell.
Probably turn 10. If you get too close to that little sausage curb at the apex, it's an instant off track. However, it doesn't actually usually give you a slowdown request.
Yeah, so that could be really handy during the race to get a run on the front straight.
To take a ×1. If you got some incident points to spare and you can try and improve your lap, maybe an advantage.
I know there's definitely some people that use that to their advantage during the race. In Supercars you get 3 track cuts before they'll hit you with a bad sportsmanship flag, but this you got 17 of them, so you don't really have to worry about it unless you get a slowdown. So I know when, a couple of years ago when I last raced this league in the Skip Barbers, we were at Alton Park and I was on for a win, so I just kept opening the steering on turn 1 to get a mega run through because I still had 17 incident points to go. Mark Cochran, g'day. Good to see you in the chat again. Not racing. You away again?
Dave Nash joined the session as well.
I know I've been preaching this for the last couple of rounds and I've been wrong every time. Busy with first day back at work. Yeah, fair enough. I don't blame you. I've been wrong every time, but I'm going to say it again. Tyre wear. I don't know if it'll be a talking point, but I know in my test drive just before, I was getting 6 laps in. I was still doing similar times, but I was getting a lot of rear locking. So I don't know if that's just because of the way that I downshift and overheating the rears and then sliding around every corner, but it was getting to the point towards, even 12 laps in, it was just like I was putting on the handbrake into some of the corners and I was doing burnouts out of them. So maybe that's just me, but I was feeling
track temp's
maybe
about 30 degrees, because it is midday, so it's going to be a lot hotter and make it much easier to cook those tyres. The ambient temperature is only 19 degrees at track temps. It's just changed to 29. Nash just comes through, places into P6.
Looking at the leaderboard now, and Peter Van der Kraan. No, it is Peter Van der Kraan, sorry. He has joined the 1 minute 30 club. So he's done a 1:30.6. Mulford's improved to 1:30.59. And Bisma still holds the provisional pole with 1:30.54.
Yeah, Mulford's getting that time down, close to Visma's. You know, 400s off from the pole time. Pretty much
And
last laps, unless they're pretty close to finishing up this current lap. Oh gosh, Matthew Scholes is crossing the line now, so he's got time to be able to get one more lap in.
if he decides to. I don't even see his name on the leaderboard. Where is he?
No time set
Hold
yet.
on. I guess he definitely wants that second lap, doesn't he?
Yes.
Well, the final lap, I should say. I don't know if it's his second or not. Maybe he just keeps up.
Just
He's
decided
got
to
it.
park it up. I think Rankin's just ran off to bring the track car back into the pits.
Well, it looks like he's just gonna have to enjoy the challenge of the first goal run.
I just comes through with last lap, moves up into P5. Made a big jump. And nearly 5-6 positions.
Well, it's good to see him qualify better. Maybe this round he won't be the biggest mover starting down the back of the field.
Yeah, actually,
He
I
might
think
be
it
able
was
to...
16 positions last week, end up making up. So it was a pretty big go.
Hopefully this week he can try and put that same climb gap to effect. Climb gap, that's not the right words. I'm struggling with English today, I'm sorry if I keep making blunders on stream. Brain's cooked.
Yeah, good old Mondays.
Yep. My network likes the Mondays too, because every other day of the week my network's fine, but every single Monday I've got to go to my hotspot.
That's the last one out there. He's already qualified himself into 12th. I'm not sure if there's going to be enough time for him to...
There's still 30 seconds before it closes, so... Nah, he's coming in.
Pit entry practice, which is also crucial. Oh, nicely closed in. Also practicing the pit exit. There he goes. Just got it done before it kicked us over. So we'll take a look at these qualifying results now. Qualifying for round 7 of the Pagnian Advanced Simulation Supercars Championship at Red Bull Ring, we have Anthony Visma on pole position, and then the rest of the grid is then Tim Mulford, Peter van der Kraan, Scott Rankin, Ricky Hyde, Harry Dodds, Mick Clifton, Aidan Kale, David Nash, Blake Fitz, Andrew Rushworth, Brad Hayes, Ryan Bunt, Phil Buckland, Stephen Luckhurst, Adrian Simpson, we've got Stephanie Piccoli, Matthew Scholes, and then P19 through to P21, John Gallen, Russell Gander, and Ben Rowe. I didn't see Gal make it into the session, but he's obviously registered and should be able to make the race start by the looks of things.
It was awkward waiting for these race starts. You just never quite know what to say.
And sometimes you don't get too much time. If they all hit grid straight away. We can be going to the lights pretty much instantly.
A couple of people just leave me bashing just to warm their engines up a little bit. I hear that's good for them.
Yeah,
Oh, someone's got their pit limiter on.
There we are.
Hearing revs rise.
Green.
The flagman's getting ready. And he waves the flag. Oh, it looked like this 464 had a blinder start. He gets at least one position, tries to take it up the inside, but it's blocked by the 719. And the outside running gets it. That's... oh, I can't even see. Anthony Visma.
Yeah, Mulford and Visma are neck and neck from that launch.
Nearly identical starts, wasn't it? Sort of pulled a little bit of gap over the wheel behind them, which are all still going through turn 3 side by side. Not leaving much room on the exit. There's dirt flying around. You've got the car around. That's 6-3-4 of Stephen Luckhurst. Going 3 wide down in the braking area for Roche. I don't even know how to pronounce that, to be honest. Turn 4. All seem to make it through. It's gone to single file again now. Everyone's trying to calm down a little bit, but still making dives for the 709 of David Nash. Like
train.
I'm saying that it looks like we've got a couple of people in the pits, so no, that's just pit time. I don't know why I'm getting pit time for them for right now. We haven't had a pit stop yet. What's going on? Maybe they're starting.
They've missed the start a little bit. Yeah, they must have missed the start because that's the hold time, same as John Gallant. So he did make the race start in the end. Visma's starting to deploy, or Mulford's dropped back a spot. Hyde's moved up into P2. Braking gets good move through turn 3. Too wide. Down into tight one here. Nearly squeezed.
A little bit on the way in.
Kyle takes the spot back. Visma's in a very nice gap now. Nothing slowing him down at this point. It's going to be very borderline in that slipstream. He's got Mulford hot on the tail still.
I didn't even realise it moved up in a second. What a blinder of a start.
Mark's calling it'll be 27 laps.
Really hard by pace. I'm just watching this gap come down further and further. It was at 1.9, 1.4, now it's down 1.7. He's going to be one to watch.
It's nearly 3 wide into turn 1. Simpson, Fitz and John Gallant. There's not a whole lot of room through turn 1. Yeah, Mulford just made the pass.
Yeah, Hyde's made some form of mistake, but he went down from 1.3 to 2.7. Maybe got a slow down.
Had a crash.
Damn, that's not ideal.
Stand alone by the look of it.
It's really easy to do.
Kale on the attack. Clifton's holding him at bay. Oh, he gets a little bit slippery on the braking zone curb. Clifton loses 2 spots in the end with that mistake.
I've lost all my data.
That's unfortunate.
I didn't realise my battery, the laptop battery was full. I turned it on 20 minutes ago, it was at full power, and then it just went into low power mode. I was just watching the battery going 20, 19, 18, 17 within a minute. Rubbish.
Gap that Visma has still been holding, even with Mulford swapping around again with Hyde. His last lap out in the race lead was a 1:30.81, and then just as he crossed the line then, 1:30.85. He's already done a 1:30.42 in the race. Some very good consistent lap times, and pretty much seeing qualifying times being done out there in the race lead in the opening laps.
Curious to see how long it can take that up.
2x2 going through turn 3. The battle for P7. Stills going too wide. Oh, spin. Is that Mick Clifton? He's caught in the dirt. Try and flick it round. Not sure how much damage he might have.
Not too bad, it was just a tap as he went around, but I double checked that, I don't know. It looked like he left enough room, maybe he just locked the rears on the way in.
Should go to when he went off track and see what actually happened. Oh, he just lost the rear. Unfortunate. Lap 6. Visma still holds the lead. Mulford starting to close in a bit. Sybil's teetering around the 1.8 gap. That's now dropped down to 0.6.
The draft effect must be really big with this game, because Ricky Hyde was just closing in on him massively, but I don't actually know what happened between the two of them, but Hyde just dropped off. He's down to 3 seconds between him and the leader now.
Yeah,
and he was 1.2.
Might have been a slowdown request for him. Looks like there was an off track on lap 5 for Ricky Hyde. I wouldn't be surprised if it was on that right-hander. He's got Harry Dodds right on his tail. Ooh, a little bit of a kick in the rear. So he moves aside. Rolls off and lets Dodds through. Fitz and Gander battling it out. Fitz gets the run pretty quick before coming into turn one. That gap's closing again for our race leader. But he was out there pushing some very good times in those opening laps. He's dropped that pace back to 131s over Mulford, still landing the 130s.
Curious if that's intentional, dropping it back a pace, or if it's actual, I'm not going to say it, tyre wear.
Could be.
We're 10 minutes in, still 5 seconds across the top 5. They're definitely a lot closer than it was at Silverstone last week.
A lot more spaces forming. And the shorter track is definitely going to make it a lot more interesting.
Battle's definitely intensifying between Mulford and Visma there. Oh, Mulford just tried to go
side by side
inside there. Tried to go inside off the exit of the corner. He just got a bit of wheel spin, so he lost his momentum. But
Visma just hand this over to him. He's going to try and go for a little bit of a switchback move here. Under normal circumstances, probably hold off, but not with the following left-hander. Oh, he's going to go for it again, though.
But it's a loss of room to the exit of the track.
Very well done, yeah.
Really looked to breathe a little bit on the way in there. Still nose to tail coming back through turn 7 and 8.
Oh, Mulford swings for the move. Watch that understeer through the second last corner. Oh, this is some great battling here. Side by side.
Racecraft.
Yeah, completely aware where each other was.
He's tucks in behind him. He's got to pull out of the draft here, try and go for another dive up. No. Breaks a little bit early, pulls it back in on the draft. Got to be super careful on that yellow sausage curb. If you get on it, just on top of it, that's perfect. You can't get any better than that. You go a little bit over it and you slip off, you get wheel spin. Ruins your run on the straight. He goes for a dive, just showing the nose.
I think that was a just pestering the mirrors.
Oh, Visma's wide. It's working. Looked like Visma just locked the front on the way in. He just went half a car length wide on the apex, but that's all that Tim Mulford needed. Make it too wide. Battled again in the braking zone.
Bit of extra curb, trying to leave that extra room.
Oh, he's off the track. Looks like that's all that Mulford needed to get back in. But he's still in the drafting distance, and this is played perfectly into the hands of Harry Dodson, Ricky Hyde.
Yeah,
they'll be seeing this and laughing.
You can see that just the swapping of positions for Mulford and Visma, their lap times 1:32.46 and a 32.62. So it's cost them big time, especially when Dodds and Hyde behind are doing low 31s.
Did Visma just got the track limit there?
Quickly closed in. This is going to be making for a good fight for race lead if we've got 4 of them up for it.
job of just pushing that gap out a little bit at a time. It was over 5 tenths, now it's back down to 4, but just keeping him at an arm's length. Trying not to let him get too close, but in saying that, he's just gotten a run on him through turn 8. Closing in on the way down to the final 2 corners. Coming the brakes, turn it in, try not to lock it front. He goes, Mulford goes a bit wide. That'll be a track limit ping for sure. Gotta be careful not to do too much of that. Still got a fair bit of the race to go. Going straight to the inside of the track, try and cut off the draft. He follows in, keeps his nose in it. He wants to stay as close as he can. And he's looking for any mistake that Mulford might make so he can capitalise. It's all nose to tail between the top 4 and the turn 3. 1.4 seconds separate a lot of them. But Bismarck showing the nose. Still too far back to make a dive, but he's letting him know he's still there.
Start showing your car in those mirrors. Just remind them that you're going to make a move at any chance that they all get. White mustn't have got as good a run out of there. He started the drop back.
It keeps going wide. Surely he's using a lot of his track limit points there.
He can go reasonably wide in that last corner.
I thought it was to the... I could be wrong, I'm just going to check iRacing here, but it's normally to the edge of the red and white curve. I'm seeing turn 1, red and white curve, turn 3, same. Turn 5's the same, turn 7's the same.
Hits. It's been there currently 5 minutes.
Okay, on corner exit for turn 9, exit to the green, the edge of the green and wide curving. Oh, just put a concrete barrier there, man.
Of a gap between the race leaders now.
I don't know, the top 4 are still separated by 1.3 seconds. It's 3 tenths to Bismarck, 7 tenths to 8 tenths now to Harry Dodge. Ricky Hyde's 1.3. It's still tight.
Maybe starting to try and conserve a little bit.
Maybe that's why Ricky Hyde let him pass.
Could very well be.
Lift off in the straight so he can...
Need a strategy for it. See if they start fighting it out. He close riding, nearly touched the nose. Dodds had to let up a little bit. Looked like he was going to get a little bit of rear slip.
Notice the same for Bismarck there, just on the exit of 3. It looked like he had a sudden stop in acceleration for a second. Put him back to 5 tenths, but Hyde's still 1.2 from the leader.
Some drivers coming in now as they're approaching the halfway point. Blackhurst comes in. So that's the first to come in for the fuel stop. So we've got Fitz. Let's park the car up. Aiden Kale, hot on the tide of Matthew Scholes.
Open pitch trying to go for the undercut.
Kale peels off in the pits as well.
I missed my laptop already. I can't find the charger for it.
This will be interesting to see if Hyde is able to stay out for an extra lap compared to Visma and Dodds.
Visma's covering. He's got Dodds on his tail. He
Oh,
slides.
he slips.
That's enough
It's
invitation
lost
for
it.
Dodds to say, "Yeah, out of the way, mate. I'm coming through."
Thank you. Oh, not quite enough to be able to get him still.
Visma's got to be struggling. He goes wide again. Turn 4. Just slots in just behind Dodds, in between him and Ricky Hyde. But Dodds goes a little bit wide there.
The hot tyres and then the low fuel. Yeah, even Hyde then has a little rear kick.
Mulder plays this right. He's got to come out with a couple of second gap by the look of this. You got Visma coming in the pits now. Super dangerous pit lane, this one. Pit entry, that is, because you
Right
try
on
and
the
go
race
down
line
2
and then
gears.
duck over and easily spin the car.
Oh, even just for the cars behind you, you try and smash down 2 gears normally and just get back on the throttle as soon as you can. But you got to carry the brakes the entire way through and then smash down another gear to make the pit entry. So you're still on the brakes in the corner apex. So unless you say something over the radio, it's super hard for the cars behind you to tell if you're going to pit or not. Visma still sitting stationary. He's got a longer stop. That was a 19.5 second stop. Tim Melford only stopped at 18.3. He's got him. Surely. Got John Gallen in the middle of him, but he's also on 14 lap old tyres, so looks like he hasn't come into the pits just yet. See if that plays a part in
get
their
another
race.
lap out of it since he had the pit lane start. So he got away about half a lap later.
Mark might be pretty close here, saying 27 laps, might be 27, 28, maybe 29 at the most, but it's going to be super close.
Yeah, Hyde stays out for a lap. So wouldn't be surprised, this is where he puts the boot down big time now. Dodds, Van der Kraan, in the pits. Clifton will need to come in soon. He comes in this lap, as does Bunt.
Maybe Hyde knows that... I just completely lost my train of thought there for a second, sorry. He knows that he's going to come out behind the 3 guys in front, so maybe he's just trying to stay out for as long as he can to be on fresher tyres, because he's got, well, this be 3 lap... He's out of fuel. He's going so... No? No, it was just a weird camera angle. My apologies, it looked like he was going super slow, but it just must have been a super wide field of view. Anyway, as I was saying, he might know anyway he was going to come out behind the other 3, so he's just trying to get as fresh tyres as he can. Because that would be Tim Mulford, that was 2 laps ago, so he's going to have 3 lap fresher tyres, which might be... Well, it might make all the difference, but at the same time I've been wrong about tyres every other time I've mentioned it, so we'll see what happens.
He's not really conserving fuel, but I'm pretty sure he's going to have to come in now. He's got a bit of time. So they haven't had to come out and have to contend with traffic for Dodds. Mulford did with him trying to go for the undercut. Did give him a bit of a gap.
Let's come out front. How about that? Got Dodge going past now, and Hyde's only
just got past
the
green
off
cone.
now. Where's he lost all that time? He would have lost all that time on the prior lap when Dodge came in. He must have
19.1 in the box. Dodds 17.87. He's the quickest out of the race leaders, which is why he's pulled into race lead. Drivers getting that stop out of the way. Alford had half a second longer in the box than Dodds, but he had nearly 2 seconds longer on the pit lane journey.
A lot of that would come from entering the pits as well. So you can get a benefit entering the pits. You can just go full ball and have it, trying to stop as much as you can, not trying to just dawdle it in there. But you can also get away with being, well, a lot of the time, often 20 k's over the pit lane speed limit on the way in, as long as you pull it up straight away. So a lot of people would be using that to effect. I don't know how much in this league, but that definitely has come into it, surely.
Going to be 2 seconds quicker. It's still nicely bunched up though.
Same before about Matthew Scholes not having set a lap in qualifying. He'll have to try and do a first kind of dash. It's something similar to that. He's up 11 spots. He's currently sitting in 7th. We'll have to keep an eye on him on the way through. He's 9 seconds now from the lead.
Well.
Next car in queue looks to be about 2.5 seconds in front of him, so he's closing in. Oh, that was a slide from Bismarck. I don't think I've seen Harry Dodd's name pop up in many. Has he been in all these races, just not contending for the lead, or is?
No, just last week was his first race in the series.
Yeah, right. He's making a hell of a debut, isn't he?
Just to be in the chat, watching the stream at the start, and then decide to jump in for the quali.
How good's that?
And then take the race win last week, and then yeah, they're leading it again this week. Lap traffic they've just got around. That looks like Piccoli. They go through the listed drivers as well. Comfy gaps for most of the field. Gallen making a pass on Russell Gander. up 6 spots with that pit lane start as well.
Just goes a little bit wide there and tries to gas it up and sends it into a little bit of a slide. Mulford is giving Mulford a little bit of a run, but we'll have to see if he can capitalise on it. Though it's half covers, and Mulford looks like he just tried to stick the nose in for a bit of a faint dive and couldn't quite brake late enough to get it in there, so he sticks in behind. He's blind the pressure. He's feeling the mirrors say, hey, I'm here, and even just making him look to the mirrors to take his eyes away from the racetrack, try and get him to overshoot a brake marker by 3 metres. Every little thing helps. The gap between Dodds and Mulford is 3/10, then back to Visma's 5/10 from the leader. So still all shaping up to be a massive fight. It looks like Aero Wash could be coming into this as well, because a lot of these corners are super high speed, so it might be the reason we're not seeing a whole lot of, I'll say, passing actions, because they can't actually use their tyre grip to effect. I don't know how much the lack of cold air on the front overheats them, but I know it's a problem in real life supercars. Well, they're all still there, so it doesn't seem like it'd be overheating just.
Mulford's going for an outside move. He's maybe pestering. Oh, he's lined himself up almost for return.
That hasn't worked out very well for him, has it?
Drops some pace, and then Visma got stuck with the nose right up against him. Push out for a second lead after a little error.
"21 laps into the race, and the top 5 is still separated by 5 seconds. Was a little bit closer before with Peter Vanderkraan, but Ricky Hyde just managed to put on the pass coming out of Pierce and just kept it down the inside on turn 3 to keep position. So just fallen off a little bit since then, but so far the top 10 are separated by 25 seconds back to Andrew Rushworth, but Scott Rankin and P9's 12 seconds off the lead.
Tight, very clean. Only seeing 3 cars that are actually picking up as having made contact, only 1 time each. I think most of that was standalone.
You see the car stopped on the outside of the track there?
You got stopped.
Is it Stephen Luckhurst maybe in the international paints entry? I didn't see the number, but it's showing yellow on my little leaderboard here. I wonder if maybe he's just letting traffic through.
Something's going on. There's engine noise.
Doesn't seem like there's an oil pressure warning on.
Running. Oh, no, now he's just towed the car.
Interesting.
Inspiration had to something pop up and had to quickly pull up by the look of it.
I think a lot of actual race drivers need to go to the toilet and they have to just pee in the suit and the seat, but I don't think he'd be willing to do that in the sim.
No.
I was actually watching Dale Earnhardt Jr. does a podcast on Dirty Mo Media about NASCAR stuff. I was watching a little short of him talking about, well, drivers' bathroom habits in the car, and he said he hasn't had to do it himself, but I think it was Tony Stewart or something like that. He was talking about actually had to go number 2 in the car.
Oh no.
And then he won the race and had to do the awkward shuffle to the toilet, clean himself up, and then come back for the interview.
That would be a bit awkward, wouldn't it? Have to go down victory
Definitely
lane
wouldn't
and
want to do that,
no, definitely not. It's
It's
too
putting a
wide
different
for
kind
a
of
while
bird out
here
victory lane,
with
isn't it?
Nash and Scholes.
That looks like it's heating up a little bit there, doesn't it?
Scholes has made big movement, starting at the back of the grid. It's not very easy to get around Nash at the moment. We go, got to fight for the race lead. Alford was alongside.
Oh, he's pushing him.
Oh, he's got the wobbles in the braking zone, and he's teetering left and right, trying to make him ponder which way he's going to go. I think it may have been a bit premature, that swing.
Allowed Bisman to close right up through, side by side in the braking zone with Melford on the outside.
Almost going to have to try and sneak in between the two, otherwise Visma could sneak the nose up and take an opportunity of a position.
Ricky Hyde will be loving seeing this. They're just going to be overheating their tyres and closing the gap. The gap's down to 2.7 seconds now between the leader and Ricky Hyde, so he's loving watching this scrap. Keep battling, he'll be cheering.
Especially with only potentially 2 to 3 laps left in the race.
Mulford's still filling his mirrors, but that might be working against him because every time he does, he seems to just make the gap go out a little bit. And Bismarck closes right up the back of him. But as I say that, he's going. Oh, he's filling the mirrors again. Dang it! Stop cutting away, iRacing.
Got it on the exciting.
I do, but then it keeps him cutting away to less exciting things.
Gets alongside, but he's on the.
Oh, he's
there's a touch. Oh, so netcode. Netcode got the 2 of them.
Bismarck capitalises.
Like, thank you. Yeah, that was quite a good gap there between them. With that netcode touch. I've noticed that a fair few of the drivers do tend to have quite a bubble around them for netcode as well. It is post-race stewarding. Minute 40 left to go on the clock.
And looks Dodge showing the nose. Well, I doubt he'd realise it was netcode. He probably just saw a driver push him out of the way and then drop 2 spots because it was in the lead. Now he's back in third. One of the other people I'll see annoyed with coming in third. Looks like we'll have 26 laps. So sorry, Mark, you were wrong. We've got Bismarck starting to use his track limits.
Very close in it for that lap count. Difference of a few seconds would potentially see us actually have an extra lap in this.
Ricky Hyde, if he had a couple more laps, well, I mean, he was at 1.8 in the braking zone. Looks like he made a little mistake on the exit there. You've still got Mulford showing the nose on Visma.
And Charles has just been in for a pit stop as well.
Yeah, right. Might have needed a splash and dash.
JJ Penguin. Yeah, good race for Aidan Kale in his debut.
He goes for a dive.
Currently P6.
Not quite far enough up. but he tries it. It'll compromise his exit here for Dodds.
Kale's just had a crash as well. Contact between him and Rankin.
Rankin hasn't been having a very good one this race, has he?
Oh, look at Dodds and Mulford. He's swinging left and right. White flag is out. bit of a jinx there, Penguin. Oh, this is tight. He covers it.
Gonna be a drag race to the line.
Mulford.
Oh.
Doesn't get P2. Dodds gets it. Hyde. Close behind him, P4. Vandergran,
Dodds
5th.
loving it. His top three are just
Kale
cheering
having
each
to go
other
into the
on,
pits.
saying
Wonder
how
if
much they enjoyed it.
there's a drive-through that he's
skilling.
serving at the moment. And it'll probably still sting anyway. It usually does on the last one. So it'll probably be post-race time, potentially, for him. Comes in at 13. Yeah, incident count. Just reached his 17, obviously, with the contact with Rankin for Kale.
Just hearing these guys over the radio, all of the top three are complimenting each other about how good of the racing it was, and they're saying, Scott, if you were commentating, you would have loved this top three battle. I just hear Ricky Holt in the background go, no mate, top four.
Yeah, man, what a race. He did incredibly well up the front. And throughout the field, there's some good little battles. Some antics going on now. We should be able to check in and check out our race results now. That's it. Science check. Come up for us. It is a little bit slow. There it is. And Anthony Visma takes the race win for round 7 at Red Bull Ring, and then a very close race in the end, seeing our first 4 in the end crossing the line pretty close between each other. It's a 1.6 the gap from the lead, so very close to be done 26 laps later and to be that close in the finish. But also on the podium we have Harry Dodds in P2 and Tim Mulford in P3. Then the rest of our standings is then Ricky Hyde, Peter Vanderkran, David Nash, Scott Rankin, Matthew Scholes, Andrew Rushworth, Mick Clifton, John Gallen, Ryan Bunt, Russell Gander, Aidan Kale, Brad Hayes, Adrian Simpson, Phil Buckland, Stephanie Piccoli. And 19th through to the 21st is Ben Rose, Stephen Luckhurst and Blake Fitz. Let's see if our guys are... I think we got Isma coming in for a chat as well. And congratulations, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
You.
That was some tight racing all the way to the finish with yous.
Mate, that whole race, that was probably the best racing I've seen and been a part of in iRacing. Like, that had everything.
Yeah, like I've been doing iRacing for a couple of years now, and that was the best race I've ever had. That was great.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I can definitely third that. That was like one of the most intense battles I've ever been on here at Red Bull Ring. Like, I've normally gone on and won it in official, like most times, but yeah, that was so intense. Like, great. That was great credit to all
And it's some
staff.
great awareness around you too. Some really tight moves, and then even with turn 3, we noticed a bit of contact, which was netcode that got the side of his, and then potentially could have gone disastrous. And I was just thinking Ricky Hyde would have been sitting back going, "Oh yes, you beauty," but he's managed to be able to recover and keep going.
Yeah, and ended up being Visma who took the chocolate.
Yeah, he loved it.
Yeah, well, I had the perfect start. I think Tim must have got a slowdown at the last corner or something.
Yeah, I did.
And then I thought, oh, I'll put my head down and try and get a bit of a gap, but which I did. And then everyone ran me down, and I was going, oh, what's going on here? And then Tim went past. I thought he was going to drive away, and then I saw Harry come, and then he jumped. I think it was both of us in the pits.
Yeah,
And
I short field to get track position for overcut.
Oh, right. And then I thought, he see you later, but it just ended up being an epic last 5 or 6 laps. It was great.
Yeah, very close, especially for the P2, right at the finish as well.
Yeah,
It's almost a drag race down pit straight.
Yeah, if I start to maximise the traction out of the slow speed corners, I probably could have pulled away because I had the fresh rear tyres, but yeah, just probably wasn't to be because just Muffle was so quick. Like the way he was pushing, I thought he was going to use up his rears.
Nah, my rears were good. It was my fronts I was struggling on turning.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And was tyre wear an issue this week
No.
with the increased track temp?
Yeah, who wants to comment on this one?
The left-hander, I don't know what turn it is, but the sort of sweeping left-hander around towards the back of the track, you've got to watch the fronts there, because if you go a little bit offline, it just sucks you out. There it was pretty bad, and then turn 2, you do have to watch the rears, otherwise you can get a lot of wheel spin, but apart from that, it's not too bad there. If you've got a decent setup, then it's pretty good.
Yeah, very good. And he's
I got a quick question for you boys, sorry.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Something that come to me earlier today. Right or left foot braking?
Yeah, I noticed I did notice there would be a few left foot breakers. Like I'm personally on not one because I'm a right foot breaker with the heel and toe thing in effect because I'm practicing when I get a shifter. But yeah, like, I don't know who left foot brakes. I'm assuming because I know Madison Downs one of them. Who does VRS. So
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Oh, you do Ant too. Okay.
Yeah, so do
There you
I.
go, there's another one.
Yeah, I
Does
left
anyone
foot
that
brake
I
and
race
then
against-
just blip.
Anyone I race against say they left foot brake and blip, but I've never managed to find it comfortable. I always get compression
Yeah.
locking 100% of the time.
Yeah, that's always been an issue for most. I reckon that's including myself. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I was having trouble getting down to first for the hairpin a couple of times, and I don't know, just maybe rushing it. But yeah, I had trouble getting into that corner a bit.
I'm weird. I right foot brake and I can heel toe in a normal car, but get on a sim and I can't do it, so I've got a left foot brake.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest. It's one of the hardest skills to master, if you ask me. I reckon for the like the heel and toe part. Like it's still taking me a bit to learn it, but yeah, it's very hard to do.
Yeah.
Once you get your blipping right, it's good. That, like I said, that's the hardest part. You got to get your blips right. Once you get your blips right and you get it in sync, then it's pretty good.
Yeah, like the Invitational pre-qualifying was the biggest learning curve for me to do it.
Fair enough.
So with a change, did you notice any difference in your lap times swapping over to a different type of braking?
Well, if I'll go first probably on this one. It's when you're in that aero wash, your lap times sort of fluctuate because you're going a bit of back and forth. But for me, when I got past Ricky Hyde, and like I got into clear, I was catching Tim and Anthony. I felt like I was really looking after my rear tyres because that's where it was coming out of the slow speed corners where I was gaining more traction because I was running wasn't necessarily a very low downforce setup, but I'd have had a couple of to 3 degrees of wing taken off the car so I can maximise the speed on the straights because there's not many corners on this track, so you might as well try to take some wing off and then actually pay dividends. So, yeah.
Actually, I did notice you were pulling away pretty quick on the straights. And we even noticed a couple other drivers that might have been the circumstance that they're doing with just that lower wing. Were you also running low wing, Anthony and Tim?
No, mine was 22.5. So
Wow.
yeah, I was having trouble keeping it up with those guys, but I just think they were getting off the corners better than I was.
Yeah, I run normal wing. I just run a fair bit of brake bias towards the rear. I find it helps me slow down a bit better. I can push a bit deeper into the corners and still get a decent exit.
Yeah.
I'm not skilled enough to take wing off. I'll end up in a fence.
Yeah, I can't handle it flighty. She'll just
I
keep
did
going
it once
round
at
and
Sandown, and I gave up after an hour. I couldn't do a lap.
Yeah, right.
You know,
You guys were getting through the last corner really well too.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to not adjust because going into Gen 3, you've really got to which would be probably towards the end of the season, like towards the 2025 season 1, I reckon. You gotta learn to not tune your roll bars on the run, because that's what Madison's the biggest tip I've got from Madison Downs videos is people are really adjusting their roll bars these days in these cars, because they're all on that transition to driving the Gen 3 car. So yeah.
Is that a thing? Because honestly, since I've been racing, I've never adjusted the roll bars. I'll adjust brake pressure, like the bias sometimes, but very rarely pretty much never will I adjust roll bars unless it's sort of towards the end of a stint and I might have chewed up the tyres heaps. I might drop a bar here, but I pretty much rarely do it. I found for me, when I do it, it plays with the car too much, and that just be my setups, and it unstables me too much, so I just leave it unless I really have to.
Yeah, because it depends. Yeah, because it depends on your driving style too. Yeah.
A lot of guys do it for full fuel loads and as the car gets lighter and all that sort of stuff. But
yeah,
I'm lucky. The setups that I get are pretty good. There's no real much difference between quali and race sets.
All right.
Except for fuel loading. So our cars are pretty good either end of the scale. Laz works really hard on his setups to make sure they're like that. So we're pretty lucky in that aspect.
You just have it set and forget and
yeah.
run it the whole way. It looked like it was a fair bit of rear slip that was going on towards the end of the first stint. Was that just the low fuel, or was that your setup, or more were you going for?
I think a bit of
lines?
both. I think
you're doing a
after
bit of battling still at that point.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both, because I think once you get past sort of 7-8 laps, the tyres start to heat up. And I didn't know whether the track got hotter or not, but you did notice there was a bit more slip in the track. So whether that was track state or whether that was tyres, but yeah, you normally even in the officials, once you get to sort of lap 7 or 8, you can feel the difference in the tyres.
Yeah.
100% agree with that, because yeah, it's one of the hardest it's one of the hardest things to master. Is apart from your throttle management, it's also it's also managing your rear tires as well. So yeah, it's one of the toughest things to do.
That's my biggest problem. I'll come and do a stint, and then I'll come out in the second stint, and I'll push too hard early and just chew them up early.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and I've sort of learned that from watching not only the real world drivers do it like Van Gisbergen, but also watching from vets, because I'm not sure if it's a thing, Anthony. From watching you guys in split one on while I'm spotting for my boys at Frog Leap. But the setup's fixed, I presume.
Yeah, it is.
Vets, yeah. So often the setups I'm seeing that everyone's getting from McKnight, they're all the roll bars are very heavily adjusted towards a stiff setup. So that to me is a big surprise. So it's that innate skill that people are trying to master is how do you go fast, but also how do you manage your tyres so much and so hard. And I find it's one of the top guys. I can't remember his name, but I think it's like Ken Ladder or something like that. It's a big lesson comes from him and the others of how to do it properly.
Yeah, all those guys, all those good fast guys in vets, whether the setup's good or bad, they just get whatever they can out of it, and regardless of what it is, they're always fast. They get their head around it and can drive the car to that setup. You know, that's why they're up the front every week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're just having that skill to be able to adapt.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
The scary part is a lot of them will run them in officials just to get used to them too, and they'll still be quick.
Yeah, it still flog everyone.
Give me a fixed setup and yeah, no good.
Yeah, well, congrats heaps, guys. It was a awesome race to watch anyway. It was some big battles that was going on and crisscrossing that Iz were doing for a good while, and too wide, and we didn't know what we're going to see at the start there, but it just continued for those 26 odd laps. So yeah, thanks for
The
putting on an
precursor
awesome
for next
show.
week at Sonoma.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be that, especially in the short course as well. And it's going to be very, very different. Especially if we get some a big grid, that could be potential for some lap traffic to contend with. You didn't have too much. At least there's ample space around Red Bull Ring, but
There is, but the pit lane, because it's so long, like you do a pit, and if you're mid-pack, then you got a good chance of coming out a lap down.
yeah.
Well, one thing's for sure, I'm definitely not winning next week because, spoiler alert, Sonoma is one of my most hated tracks. Anthony will know that's from Sunday night because I did not.
Same here.
Yeah, I did not.
I love it.
The top 10
Oh, do ya?
In one of my
Oh, I
races.
love it. It reminds me of Lakeside.
I love it. I love it. Just
John?
the flow of it and the big stretch and that final corner. You hook it up out of that final corner.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not really good at flowy tracks. Like, I hate Phillip Island. But I was running, I've just registered for the Scops Supports League for the Super 2s, and I did a setup there that just, turned as best it could with bugger all aero on it. And you can just get through flat on some of these corners, but, I just love how it goes. I love how you smash the brake and you're dragging the nose up the hill and you're smashing it over the curbs, getting up on two wheels, and then got to have the car stiff as well to try and make it through those flat out corners.
It's like a mini Bathurst.
Yeah.
It is actually. That's probably what I'm thinking of. That is just
It's
desert.
a mini Bathurst.
It's got that feel for it.
I sort of put it like a Newcastle type of layout because you're very busy 90% of the time. You've got no time to adjust anything. Like you're constantly on the wheel.
Yep.
Like it's just constant wheel work.
That's what I love.
Is it the same layout as we done last night?
The NASCAR short?
Yeah,
it was the short historic. It was
short
named
/cup,
last season.
whatever it's called now.
Yeah,
They've
the
changed the
cup,
name of it or something. Yeah.
It's cup layout.
Yep.
It's the same layout that was in last season or the season before's officials.
Official.
Yeah. Yep. So it'll be a good one.
Nah. It should be good. Should be good next week.
Yeah, look forward to seeing some battles again. And it'll be doing well for the series lead for you now, Tim.
Yeah, now I might just get to have some fun the next few weeks. So see how we go. If we have some more races like tonight, it'll be awesome.
Yep, it'll be.
Yeah, well, the undercut. I reckon the undercut next week is going to be pretty powerful. Being along pit lane because you can't pass on that track.
Well, as long as I don't do what I did tonight and slide through my bay. I was so worried about getting the entry wrong, I just hit the skids and just kept sliding.
Oh no. Unlucky.
Well done, boys. Thanks to the broadcast guys again. I can't wait to go back and watch it.
Yep.
Thanks for the entertainment.
Yep. Congrats, and you just want to do your shout outs as well. Anthony, for you first, if you want.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Accelerate Sim Racing, Box and Locked, everyone else that helps us out, you guys for the broadcast, obviously everyone that rolls up to make the league what it is. I think it's great, and look forward to next week.
Awesome. Away to you, Harry.
So obviously my team at Frog-led Juice Racing, we're very busy at the moment, prepping for the Nürburgring 24 hours. So and a lot of other series coming up that we'll be doing. So yeah, it's also big massive shout out to you boys at Frog-led Juice Racing. Juiced Energy, our prime sponsor, simrigs.com, Racecraft Simulations over in Perth, and Sudspeed Gloves. Use our discount code FLJR to get 20% off. These are great products. I recently just purchased a pair of gloves from Sudspeed. I can't wait to try them on. They look fantastic.
Awesome. Away to you, Tim.
Hybrid racing simulations, Melbourne Hydrographics Depot, Prestige Photography, Bubbles and Balloons, RSW Graphics, DHF Tyres, RMX Australia at Heatherton, and of course Phoenix Driver Development for the coaching and all the setups. You guys as well, and yeah, like all the other boys said, everyone that joins in, we're getting a few more cars in there now, so I think it's looking good for the rest of the season, so there should be some good battles.
Yep, definitely looking forward to seeing that. Thanks very much, guys. And congratulations and all the best of luck for next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
You too, boys.
See ya.
Bye.
Now we have our podium finishes with Anthony Visimus taking the race win and Harry Dodds in P2, Tim Mulford P3. And then a big thank you to you for joining me again, Ryan. It's been great to have you alongside.
Yeah, big thanks for having me again. Always love doing this. Even if I run out of things to talk about, I'll always try and find something else. So thanks for putting up with me.
No worries. And then looking forward to doing it again with you next week for Sonoma.
Yep, 100%.
No worries. Catch you then.
See ya.
And then Ryan Carlson, co-commentator for us tonight as well. And then he'll be back again next week. And then that will be for round 8 of the Pagnian Advanced Simulation Supercars Championship, and then we will be at Sonoma Raceway in the NASCAR Shorts. That is the renamed version from the Cup Short, but it's going to be making some very tight racing to see with the V8 Supercars. It's going to be very well suited. I mean, very difficult to pass. It's going to make for some very strategic opportunities for them to be able to take, and it's going to come down to a lot of pit strategy, as you can potentially be balked up with the lapping traffic, or lap traffic should I say is the better word for it. And then a big thank you for everyone for tuning in tonight, and of course to our sponsors and partners, Pagnian Advanced Simulation, Next Level Racing, Dubby Fanatec, Stump Guiding, Central Coast, Razor and Chubby Buns Burgers. And then thanks for tuning in tonight, and I hope we can see you again next week. So thanks. See ya.